Welcome to Cackling in the Void.
I'm Kaylee,
I'm Ashley.
and let's see if the void echoes back today.
We're two best friends diving deeper into the void, talking about Iron Flames chapters 39 and 40. It's early in the morning, and it's okay. It's early in the morning for Kaylee. Haley is an angel, and we love Kaylee. She woke up at 3 a.m. to do this with me because I have somewhere to be that I have to leave. And so she's great, everybody. She's the bestest of bestest friends, and everyone deserves a Kaylee in their life. So
I
applaud
love you
Kaylee.
guys. Amazing. Thanks
And
for
also, she's
tuning
here for you
in.
guys.
Yeah. I don't know if I like Ashley. That's why we spend an ample amount of time together and multiple hours talking, because it's still very iffy.
Yeah, no. I hate Kaylee. She's actually the worst person I've ever met.
I kind of agree, because damn, Kaylee
No,
sucks.
Kaylee. No, bad talking about yourself.
So jumping back into chapter 39 of this book, sex.
There was no sex in this episode, man.
No, I know. I don't know. Just threw it out there so that Ashley would be like, I'm sorry, what? I'm confused.
Sorry, what? We're not at the... I know you love the scene coming up, Kaylee, but we're not there yet.
They don't even have sex in the next chapter, because they don't have sex in
I swear
that.
to God they do. I'm looking.
No.
Please continue. Continue.
I was like, but that's
Do
part
it.
of the spoilers anyway. So we started off with chapter 39. You know, Mira sees Brennan and just immediately socks him in the face, which
It's
so
great.
valid.
That's how chapter 38 ends, and it's so great.
Mhm.
And the first line of 39 is so much blood, because she literally broke his nose.
Yeah, it's just there's so much blood everywhere. I do believe that he deserved it. Mira believes that he deserved it. I love that Mira was very much
It is not.
the reason why you deserved it is family doesn't let each other think that they're dead for 6 years. The only family in this room is Violet and me. Because
So valid.
I absolutely agree. And, you know, also,
And she also
while
does
this
get
is-
into how, like, she's like, family doesn't let, like you said, like, let siblings think that they're dead. You weren't there watching mom grieve and, like, go down this rage
it
hole. And
got
you weren't there when our
bad.
dad's heart gave out because of your grief, his grief for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, so here's the thing is like when Mira's like, yeah, you didn't watch mom become like a shell of herself. You didn't watch the light fade from her eyes, and you didn't watch her dad literally slowly die in agony from grief. But I also do understand where Brennan is like she chose that life.
Yeah, I did like
They
the line
chose
that.
that.
And then he said, I don't...
Dad would be proud.
Yeah,
He also thinks
Dad
that,
would
like-
understand what I'm doing, and as for our mother, I hope my death haunts her every single day. I was like, fuck, dude, that's wild.
I mean, if you think about
I mean, it's valid for his point of view, because he does think, like, he knows that she lied to keep all, and Mira does say,
Yeah.
she's like, she lied to keep us all safe. Like, she
Yeah.
kept up the lie because she didn't want us to be injured, and she didn't want any of us to get hurt. And so he, you know, and then, you know, she does say, I don't agree with the lie, but she did it to keep us safe. And she was like, he did say she sacrificed me for a damn lie, which would hurt. It's valid on his part. I understand both sides here.
Yeah, I definitely understand both sides. I just love that Mira is just like one of those like siblings who's really gonna call him out, because Violet
They
was
did
like,
talk, but it wasn't.
oh no,
as...
like don't worry about it, Mira, like we already like talked about it. And then Mira said that, and Violet immediately was like, I mean, I didn't go that fucking hard, but yeah, you're right.
And
like,
also,
you're not
I do like
wrong.
I also do really like how he was when he said, like, she sacrificed my life for a damn lie, and Mira goes, "You're not dead," which is so. I love it.
Is she wrong? Is she
No.
wrong though? Like, that's the thing. And I also just think that it is really hard because yes, he can sit here and justify the lie, like, for like till like his dying breath, but at the end of the day, both of his sisters are here. Like, he had the chance to have
Work
his
on the
sisters
inside,
with
too.
him and, like, you know, bring them to that side if he wanted to. He chose not to because of whatever reason, because he thought that they weren't ready or something, or they were too young. And
he
here's
also
the thing is, like, the age gap, I think, is like plays a huge part in it. Like, like, they do have large age gaps, and
Violet and Brenner are 10 years apart. Mira and Brenner are probably 5 years apart.
yeah, and it's like they do have large age gaps, and so it's like I think it's also hard because I'm sure Brennan thought about this, but like both of his sisters were way too young to even go with him. Both of his sisters weren't even bonded to fucking dragons.
Yeah.
And so, like, from his standpoint, I do understand, like, what it was like leaving and faking your own death and things like that. It's also just really interesting that his death to this day, even on, like, the Navarian side, he's used as a martyr. You know, like, and even for like the revolutionary side, he's still used as a martyr. So it's very interesting that both sides think of him as a martyr and as this horrible tragedy that has plagued both sides.
Yep. And also, like, I do like how Mira was like, because we were talking about how he stood there and she was like, you stood back here hiding like a coward while we needed you. And
yeah, and then not only that is like when she discovers the rank, she just immediately is like,
she's like, I guess death gets you up there really quick.
Yeah. Oh man, it must be real nice that you didn't have to work because death just promotes you, right?
Yeah. And I do love how, they're like, so, oh God, I forget who comes in, but someone is like, oh, like, are you okay? And Brendan's like, I can handle my own family. And Mira's like, don't be so sure about that. Like, immediately, are you sure?
Yeah.
Because I don't
like
think so.
He's like, oh man, like, it's gonna be like such a pain to like mend my nose. Like, I can't believe you broke it. And then, people are like, oh my gosh, like, your nose is broken. And Mira's like, yeah, it's not the first time I broke your nose. Get over it. Like, you can fucking mend it. Like, get over it. You got this. It also
is really interesting how menders have a harder time mending themselves than other people.
I'm not surprised.
It makes sense. It's just interesting to note.
It is interesting to note. I think the reason why I'm like, oh, I'm not surprised is because, like, I mean, you see it all the time. Like, doctors do not go to other doctors for doctor's appointments. They just fucking do whatever they feel like and hope they get better. And sometimes,
they should really go to a doctor.
You should really go to a doctor and get diagnosed because, like, not gonna lie, it seems like there's something wrong.
Yep.
Just casually, like, not that your advice isn't good, but you should just have, like, other people, like, sounding board,
Okay.
Just
sounding
a little
boards, like you said. And I do like how, Xaden kind of walks in and goes, to think I wish I had siblings.
I know.
They're all, like, yelling at each other.
Yeah, basically. Well, I mean, Violet's there being like, all right, everybody should, like, calm down and, like, maybe we shouldn't do this. And, Mira and Brennan are, like, kind of going at it. And, like, Violet even said, she was like, now I remember what it's like to feel so small again in a room full of giants, because Violet has always considered herself the smallest out of the family in terms of personality and things like that. And, like, and I think it's so funny that she doesn't think that she's headstrong or stubborn.
She knows she's stubborn because they do say that she's stubborn.
No, Brennan convinces her. No, because Brennan brings it up.
That's true.
And she's like, I don't remember that. I like, that's not true. Like, I don't remember that. And he's like, no, I know what this was like. Because
you wanted to eat the cheese, and then we were
because you didn't want to eat this
fucking
broccoli. You, like, literally sat up all fucking night, and then I came down, and you're eating bread and cheese, still not eating the goddamn broccoli. So, like, You know what I mean? So
She's
it's
very
just like one of
stubborn.
those things where it's like she has always thought of herself as like the smallest person in the room, especially when it came to her family. And then like when she sees Zayden like walk in, she's like, I don't like, almost like gets like this rush of like dopamine basically of like, wow, I really am the only person for him. Like I really am like the bit like the biggest personality in the room for him because all he does is care for me, which also very sweet, very fun, whatever.
And also,
I
like,
hate love. It's
it is
disgusting.
a it is a thing where it's like you can have a lot of character development, but there are situations where you're gonna backslide.
Oh, for sure.
And like in this dynamic, you could see her kind of going like, "Ooh, like I am tiny. Ooh, like I just have to like kind of sit here. I don't know anything about this type of stuff." And so
it's not that she doesn't know anything about this type of stuff.
But she doesn't feel like she has a voice.
Yeah. I was like, Ashley won't understand this because Ashley is an only child. Me. Ashley will never understand what it's like. But like I understand like that feeling of like watching your older siblings just like make decisions for you because you're not adult enough, or they don't like remember that you're there almost, and you're like, what was like the fact that like I don't know if this ever stops happening, but I don't think that it does because my siblings still do it for me, and I'm like, did you fucking ask? Yeah, of course, like I'm gonna do that with you, but like did you bother to ask me? Like I know that we were gonna hang out, but like I didn't know that was the plan. And like it was just like oh well, we've decided. And I was like, I'm so glad that you guys decided. Good job. But it's also like I understand that, like, you know, like the idea of like being that like, oh man, it's just like a very different dynamic.
And you also have the exact same dynamic because
I do. My brother is the oldest, my sister is the middle, and I'm the youngest. So definitely,
like it's literally the same.
Yeah,
at least like gender and age wise.
Yeah, gender. Yeah, and like me and my brother are 5 years apart. And my sister and I are 3 years apart. But it's
so not as big of an age gap.
Yeah,
but
not
still
as big of an age gap.
It's...
But yeah, there's still times where I'm like, I'm sorry, what did you just say?
That was like crazy. They're closer in age.
Yes, they are much closer in age, and
like by just a year. But that 1 year, I feel like is kind of a significant.
Yeah, I definitely think that it was. It's also like odd because, you know, siblings like drift further apart and like get closer together and things like that. But it really wasn't until like I got into like a certain point in college that me and my brother started getting closer because like we had more in common because I wasn't so young. Yeah. And I also think like the maturity level between siblings is obviously always going to be there because like they're older. They got to a certain point before you did, and so of course like Violet does feel small. She is the youngest one in that room, you know. She is like saying, especially, well, there was a lot of other dynamics that were happening, but now it's so interesting because in Violet's case there's such a flop of power for her to experience because she has Zayden. Because Zayden is literally the leader of the revolution and, you know, her undying love. So,
and also like you said, he's the leader of the revolution and he puts her on a pedestal.
Oh, so, like, absolutely, 110%.
You know, so she has the power in that relationship 1,000%. And he's the leader of the revolution. So she really goes from not being the leader of the revolution, but the leader's wife. And like him putting her on a pedestal. And to being a small kid again with her siblings. And also, you know, like Brendan's 10 years older, Mira's 5-ish years older. Yeah. They both are out of school. Like, they are no longer, like, she's in her second year. So like there is that also dynamic of, wow, like I'm just learning all these things and they've been doing these for years. So there's that dynamic, like you said too. They hit those milestones a while ago, just because they're older. Not because they were better, not because of anything, but literally just because they are older. They're not twins. Like, they're not gonna... And I think that's where it's like, a twin, the comparison is a lot harder, because you're hitting them at the same time, but what if one's ahead, you know? And so, like, it's not a twin where it's like, oh, this one's better than me, so now I'm jealous. It's, no, like, they're just older. they hit them sooner because they're older.
Yep. And like that in and of itself is so hard, but I love to see the way that Violet has become more confident within herself because of the relationship with Xaden. And I know that sounds really cheesy because the relationship is gross and it's extremely toxic, and I'm still not going to ever say that it's not toxic. But
she's learning that she can have a voice.
But yeah, she's learning that she does have a voice and that she can speak up and that she has good ideas. And I think that is something that is extremely good and nice about Xaden, that he does for her, that he does encourage her to put her ideas out there, does encourage her to say that you are the smartest person in the room. Like, I believe that. Like, Xaden 110% believes that.
Oh, 1,000%. I also think her squad helps with that too, not just Xaden.
Oh yeah,
I think absolutely. Her squad very much is, okay, you know what the fuck you're talking about. Well, what is this shit?
Exactly. Like, you know, peer validation has been really helping her, especially grow out of like this dynamic of feeling so small, because, you know, we see it later on, even in this chapter, that she's becoming more self-sufficient and more of a leader, even within like her sibling dynamic.
Yeah.
You know,
and it's so fun to see her kind of very slowly stepping into that role, because, you know, in book 1 it was literally her just trying to survive. Kaylee's dying again.
Yeah, okay. I know, I'm sorry. Yeah,
how dare you. It's her trying to survive and like just get through the year, whereas now she knows a little bit more, and like physically a little bit more, and like more about writers than the scribes. And so now it's, hey, I can lead a little bit. Like, I know what I'm doing now. This isn't my first year where I'm about to die if I take one wrong step.
Exactly. And, you know, I think that it's interesting to see, you know, that dynamic come out, and, you know, they don't really end up resolving it, because Mira just is still upset, and so valid, because it's not going to do.
There's no resolving this one.
Yeah, there's no really resolving it. But then we kind of shift to like in a transition where Violet is now like leading the charge, and is like, hey, between all my research and everything, I'm very confident that I know how to get the ward stone working, and we need, you know, 6 of the best writers, and then we're basically gonna go bleed on this rock, which definitely sounds crazy. And she does get a lot of backlash from like certain members of the sorry, not the Empyrean, the Revolutionary Council. There, thank you. I was like, the Revolutionary, like the Revolutionary Council. Yeah, that's what we're gonna call it. I think they have a name. I just fucking forgot the name.
I think it's the council.
Oh, it's just the council? I love that. Perfect. We love that. All right.
Don't like, 100% quote me on that.
You know, getting like certain things, just a lot of backlash, a lot of skepticism. You know, when she like mentions like, oh, like, you know, they bled for the wards. They were like, well, how much blood? And she was like, don't worry, guys, we're not killing ourselves, okay? Because like the 6 are still alive. Like, we're not like slitting our throats.
They're like, we need to bleed. She's like, we're not killing ourselves. Like, literally just prick your hand. Like, it's not that big a deal. Jesus Christ. And they really, like, you could still tell even now that, I mean, we're more than halfway through this book, and you could tell they still don't like her. They still don't trust Violet.
Well, here's the thing, is Violet, this is, if you really think about it, this is the council's, like, 3rd time meeting Violet. And the 2nd time they met her, she shows up on their doorstep with a bunch of untrained riders, untrained cadets, and, like, wrecked half of Beth's Gaiath. So, you know, I think that we could also say that they kind of, there's a little bit of a justification, you know?
Yeah.
You're an older adult that has planned 10 years ahead to get where you're at, so that your other 10-year plan can actually come into fruition and you can win this war. And then this girl just is like, hey, by the way, your 10-year plan, I looked at it, reviewed it, and I don't really care about it. And now we're just doing whatever I fucking want because I decided that this was the best thing.
Yeah.
So,
and,
like,
I mean, like, that's so valid of them to be like,
you know, like, I also kind of agree to be like, you know, it's kind of valid that they don't like her. And the only reason why she's there and why she's able to get away with so much stuff is because of Xaden. Because at the end of the day, the council does. Xaden is, the end of the day, the last word, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, yeah, the council, like, helps them and stuff, but, like, last word, Xaden.
Is Xaden. And he also, you know, is backing her up in this moment. They're all like, are you sure? Like, what? And she does say, she's like, well, does anyone else know how to translate Lucerys? You're more than welcome to translate this if you know how to do it. And, you know, so that they do bleed on this rock, and
the iron rock.
The iron rock, and
it
doesn't
it's made out of iron.
And
it's also so large that they think that a dragon couldn't carry it, which is kind of crazy.
And they do say that, and you know, so it doesn't work. And Violet is devastated. She's like, this is what it says. I know for a fact this is what it says. I don't understand why it's not working. And you know, they kind of are giving her a bit of shit about it. And she's like, but it's okay.
Yeah, like she really breaks down about it. Like she openly says, like, I don't get things wrong. Like, this is crazy. Like, I've never gotten a single thing wrong in my life, especially when it comes to books. And, like, she is... I said it earlier, but, yeah, she kind of throws a hissy fit about it. She throws a hissy fit about it, and Xaden's like, violence, it's okay. You're going to try again. And, like, it's not like we'll try again, like, it'll work next time. It's no, you're gonna try again. You know it, I know it. Like, I'm confused about why you're so upset when we are just stating facts. Like, Xaden is, at this point, just stating facts. You did a good job. It's okay that it didn't work.
It's okay. It's the first try. Like,
it's the first try.
Perfect. And like you said,
we're gonna try it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and nobody is perfect. But...
No, and like she holds her scribed knowledge so tight. Like she because that's what, again, like we see it again, like in the first book, and like when she's extremely anxious, she recites like knowledge from books. And so like because of that, like she was learning to be a scribe for her whole life. And sorry, I just like choked. And she is so upset. Good God, Caitlin. I knew it was coming, and that's why I slowed down. Good God. Anyway, and so she, because of that, like if she messes up as a writer, you can tell she gets more angry, but she gets more devastated if she messes up as a scribe.
Absolutely.
Am I
wrong? No.
Am I wrong? Why are you laughing, Kaylee?
I'm always laughing. What do you mean? That's crazy. I would absolutely agree with that. I also think that it's one of those things where we all have to think that she hasn't been training as a scribe for like 2 years. So like the fact that she just is so upset about it sometimes, I'm just like, girl, breathe. Which is why I do like, this is one thing that I do like about their dynamic is that, you know, Xaden is here and Xaden can say, hey, let's calm down for a second. Let's take a breath. Let's see what's going on and we can do this later. You can do it later. Mm-hmm. Like, no, like we're not in a rush. Like he openly is like, hey, it's okay. You know, we have other plans. Okay. And like, you know, during this time, a lot of like the other council members like that are there that were called because they were like, what, you know, 2 of them are there because they're the strongest writers like of the, like in the area, you know, like that was like the whole thing is like you have to have like 6 and like one of the others and like they got to be like the strongest in like
Yeah.
that like reside in the residence or whatever. What, like that's what it is, like but they openly are like, oh, like of course it didn't work, like I don't understand like why we're messing around with this plan when we really just need the luminary, and like you won't get the luminary. And Xaden does say like his like speaks his mind about it, about how like he's like, no, I don't want to do this, like he's going to keep her, like yeah, he wants to see her wield, but it's not just about that, he is going to try to keep her. And Brennan is very like a little bit more diplomatic about it, and it's like, no, like we're not gonna let that happen, like blah blah blah. And Xaden is very confident that they don't understand what's going to happen, and very confident that like is very confident that they want to keep her, and then that Count like Viscount Takaris would do that because he does that often, like he's known for that, which is so interesting that he's known for like collecting like precious and rare items. And even if that's people, he's still gonna collect it, you know. And so he's very much like against it. And then we, you know, Violet is like still just devastated about it, so devastated, so disturbed. And
go ahead.
No, go for it.
Oh, and I was gonna say, and you know, because of that, she very much is like, you know, forming a plan to how to go get that luminary. And you know, Brendan's kind of like, you have that look. And then she's like, what look? What are you talking about? She's like, he was like, the same look that you gave when you stared Mom down for over 12 hours about a stupid squash, and then you still went and ate your bread and cheese. And
Violet's like, oh, I don't remember that. Like, I'm not that stubborn. I don't remember that. And I'm like, bitch, you are that stubborn. Like, the fact that you don't remember that is crazy to me.
Yeah.
You know? I'm like, no, you really are that stubborn. Like, you're over here being like, I'm not nearly as stubborn as my siblings. And I'm like, she's the most stubborn.
Absolutely.
Brennan even says it. Like, Brennan says it.
And she, you know, is forming this plan. And she does ask Tara, and she's like, do you know how to get there? And he's like, that is an offensive question.
Yeah. How dare you think I didn't know?
How dare you? Yeah. And he, you know, is upset about it. And she's like, come on, like, you know it's the only way for this to go down. And Donna's like, this will be fun. Because she's like, I love it, Donna. I think Donna's so fun in these. Like, when she's this age. I think it's just really fun to hear, like, these little quippy remarks. And I'm like, stop. I love it. And, you know, Taryn's like, fine, I'll consider it. And then she does go to her siblings and is like, I need your help. Because she knows Xaden will never agree to it. So she's like, fine, I'll go to my siblings and do it anyway.
Yeah, because, like, Brennan openly, when he's like, hey, you have that look, and she's like, oh, I'm gonna go get the luminary, he's like, well, I'm gonna go with you. And she was like, she's like, okay, fine, I guess you can be the tag-along sibling.
Yeah. And that is where chapter before Kaylee dies, we are
I'm
finished
so sorry,
with the
guys.
chapter.
I really don't know why I'm coughing so much. I'm like, man, I think my allergies are pretty bad today.
I would say it's because we were talking about this book and it's trying to kill you.
Maybe, yeah, could be.
Anyway, and so now we're going on to chapter 40, and it starts off with her wielding again, and like in a lesson which we haven't seen in a good long while.
Yeah, a hot second,
and she, you know, does a lightning strike, and then within a minute she does another one, and she's training with Felix, and Felix like, what the fuck was that? What is that? And he's like, it's a miracle that you haven't killed yourself already. Like, can you not aim? What is happening? And he's like, well, how much can you wield? And she's like, I'm up to about 20 an hour. I have done 40 before, and then she's like, but I was like pushed to burnout. And he was like, why would you do that? And she was like, it was a punishment. And he's like, who the fuck and why the fuck? And yeah, basically. And she's like, well, I did it to protect my dragon.
Yeah, which was so valid. I mean,
yeah,
very valid.
So valid. And, you know, they're training, and he's like, you have no control over this.
Yeah,
And
because
she's
the main goal of the lesson is for her to strike these boulders. He's like, do you see those boulders over there? Please hit those.
like, do you need me to paint them? Like,
Yeah, like, do I need to paint them to make you see them better? Because if those were dark wielders, we would be dead by now. Like, what did you do?
yeah.
What was that?
She's like, what do you mean? And she's like, well, have you ever done like the lightning that can kind of like come from your fingers, like a small, or you're only doing like big lightning strikes from the sky? And she's like, what? like,
Yeah.
so genuinely confused. And he's like, okay. And then he was like, have you never even thought about how you can wield lightning with no storm, and how it's a bit harder, but you could do it, and it's either way? And she's like, oh, I've never really like thought about it that way. And he's like, it's not your fault, you were never taught any of this. And she was like, yeah, like once Carr knew I could strike like that, his only goal was to increase the amount that I do per hour.
And it's one of those things where it's like she was just so shocked. She was like, why would they do that? Like, if I am their best weapon, why would they not train their best weapon to be their best weapon? And Felix openly is like, well, I'm sure that they're fucking scared shitless of you. You have so much strength and so much power. If you did this correctly, you really could be the strongest of not only your generation, but of this time period, basically.
Yeah.
So, like...
And he also does say, it's like, you don't wield, like, you're a lightning wielder, but you wield power, and lightning is how your body chooses to show it.
Yeah, that's how your body chooses to manifest it, which is how signets work in general, you know? But she also is like, oh, well, Xaden can't just produce shadows and then, like, out of thin air, like, he has to bend, like, what already exists. And Felix is like, of course, because every signet is different. But here's the thing, is that his personality still uses shadows as a... like as a manifestation, you know, like, like, you know, his inherent nature still chose that way to manifest it. You know, it wasn't, you know, just kind of like Riddick and his ice. So and it's just like interesting that we're now finding that out, where, you know, before that was never really taught or even like thought about. And he actually ends up giving her a conduit,
which is like an orb.
Yeah,
it's a little circly orb.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a crystal ball.
Yeah, that's how I imagine it.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know why, but that's how I imagine it. I imagine it as like a crystal ball. And, you know, her schooling, her job is to imbue it.
And he's like, this will help her control it.
Yeah.
So how a signet works is it goes from the dragon through, you know, the rider, and so now it's going to go from Terran to Violet through the conduit, so she has more control. Out. So because she has no control over it.
Yeah, because he openly was like, you know, any change in like Violet's mood or temper like really matters, because as she's getting more and more upset, like she ends up striking like really close to them, and he's like, this is crazy, like this is like, you really could just kill somebody. Like, I'm confused about what you did in Russin, because supposedly, according to the reports in Russin, you can aim. And she was like, well, it's because Indarna stopped time. That's why I could do it. And he's like, no, it's not just because of that. I'm sure like that was like played a factor in it, but like, it's not just that. You can do this, and this is why you need to work on this, you know?
Yeah.
So that you can protect the people that you love, you know? Yeah. Like Violet says it in chapter 39. We kind of like skimmed over it, but like when Violet, Brennan, Mira, and Xaden are all in the same room, she's like, wow, I finally have everybody that I truly deeply care about here that I can love and protect. They're all right here.
Like, it's a big thing for her to be able to protect her loved ones. It's huge.
Yeah, it's a really big thing. Which, I mean, very valid. It's 4 times, you know? But she is struggling with the fact that she didn't know this about her signet, and now she's like, once she gets the conduit, gets her homework, she's like, okay, well, luckily Viscount Takaris doesn't want to see me aim. He just wants to see it.
Yeah. And also he, Felix does say, like, well, it just doesn't seem like you want to learn. And so she's like, no, but, like, I want to learn. And he's like, well, you need to prove it to me. Do this by next week. And, like, just have, like, more control by next week.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I think is, like, such a good challenge, because I'm not gonna lie, like, I really do like the way that Felix talks to her sometimes, because, like, a lot of the other teachers have always been like, oh, like, you're doing so great, like, wow, you're so powerful, good job. And he's just like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, what have you actually been doing, and what have you actually been learning? Because this just looks like you're boiling oil. Like, you're just tossing it up in the air and hoping it hits something. And that's crazy.
And he also does say, he's like, how you were taught is not how all the other people were taught. Like, you weren't taught from the small things and moved to bigger things like the rest of your squad did. Like, you were taught the big thing and only the big thing, where now you need to work backwards, which is going to be even harder. And you need to prove to me that you want to do it.
Yeah, which I think is so important. But, after the lesson ends, we fast forward, and now we're getting saddled up. Brennan's there. Mira is there. Mira's like, yeah, no. Mira's coming as the muscle. Mira is like, no, I really don't know how to do anything, but I will kill for my sister.
Absolutely.
Just like I'm here for, I'm here as like a bodyguard almost to protect her, because, they're going without Zayden, and Brennan is there to make the deal. And so it's so interesting seeing them go off and like fly together as siblings.
Yeah, and she even says, she's like, wow, this is like the first time we're all like doing something as siblings in 6 years.
Yeah, like all three of us together as siblings, which is really huge for them. But I kind of love the way that is, It's just like we get to see a different side of them. Unfortunately, the dialogue in this part is not like a whole lot, even though like I wish that like there was a lot more, because we kind of just like get that small interaction with them, and then we basically fast forward to them landing in
Takaris.
Yes, that's his name, not like the area of the place, I thought.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because his name is Viscount Takaris, so like, why would
is he the Viscount of Takaris?
No, I don't think so. Please look. I don't. No, I refuse. That's his fucking name. That's not the name of the land. I refuse. I refuse. I can't. Like, they're at his estate, But they land there, and we're kind of seeing a lot more about what's going on. So like they're looking at this basic like estate, and Violet is like, first of all Taryn says, wow, look at that ugly impractical building, because so it will literally do nothing for you. And Violet's looking at it and it's like, yeah, it doesn't have a siege wall. It doesn't have like large protections. It doesn't have like large stones for like the flyers to land on and things like that. It doesn't have any type of like military protection. And she's actually shocked and like very much like, wow, it's crazy. Because I've never seen this side of life that people made architecture that wasn't for war. They made architecture just to look pretty, for the aesthetic of it, basically. It is literally like, she also says like the estate is breathtaking. It's gorgeous. And like there's so much land, there's so much of the building, and Taryn is like, this is the worst building ever, it's so impractical. And I'm like, yeah, but like also, like, for her, never seeing architecture that was made not for war is so interesting to her. And I think that's so valid, because literally all she's done is grew up in, like, places where there was war, you know?
Yeah.
Vizcaya is literally a war college, you know? Any type of
Coromil.
outpost. There it is. Thank you. Can't fucking call it land of Takara's. Fuck off. That was a fucking dumb. Thank you. Fuck me. God damn it. For me, like, I'm pretty sure that's what the land is called. God damn it.
His name is Viscount.
Yes,
Takaris.
thank you. I was like, yeah, his name is Viscount Takaris. Like, that can't be the name of the fucking land.
It's okay. It's
can't
okay.
be.
I'm just a little dumb, and it's okay.
And there's a bunch of griffins around, and Violet openly is like, damn, maybe we should have brought more people, because, yeah, the griffins are smaller, but they could do a lot of damage. Especially just to Terran. Like, they could do a lot of damage and things like that. And, you know, they end up being approached in the skies, and Terran is like, no, they're escorting us down to that ugly building. And, you know.
He's really upset about it.
He's really upset about it. He really does not love this place. But they land, and they
also, dragons do have a really big superiority complex, and they're like, he's like, ugh, like, griffins are so tiny. Like, he does. He's gross. Like, ugh, they're the inferior version of dragons. Like, very... But, like, he still has respect for them, but you could tell he's just like,
Yeah.
No. Like, he's not about to start a war over it, but you could tell he's like, God, they are inferior.
Yeah, they're just smaller. They have lesser magic. It's just no contest, you know?
Yeah. And so they're escorting down, and, you know, then they're greeted by people.
Yeah, they're greeted by, like, a guard, and he is very specific, like, and he's like, hey, for number one, didn't know that you were coming, so you guys need to, like, state your intentions. And Violet just so quickly is like, oh, you're a truthsayer. Like, like you can tell. And he, you know, the Flyer's obviously shocked that, like, she even picked up on that, like, first of all. And then he was like, okay, yeah, so you know the deal. So if you lie or, like, give me a bad intention, I'll know. So what are you here for? Like, especially because you're coming to the Viscount's estate unannounced. What are we doing here?
On giant dragons.
Yeah, on giant dragons. What are you doing? You know, Violet is like, well, I'm here to show Viscount Takaris my lightning for the luminary. And he was like, okay, that's truthful. Brennan is like, I'm here to negotiate said luminary. And he's like, okay, that's valid. And Mira is, like, thinking about it, and she just openly is like, I will kill anybody that touches my sister. And I love that the guard was like, I believe you. You are correct. I believe
immediately.
You
Yeah.
that.
I know. I could tell by not even just being a truthsayer. Yes, I can immediately tell that you would kill for your sister.
It just, he was like, you know what? I believe that intention. I totally believe that. That's great. And then basically, after Mira's like, yeah, I would kill anybody if anybody, like, touches my sister. And then you just kind of see this black shadow, and you hear Xaden say, you're not where I left you, Violence. And then the chapter ends. Also, I think that it's interesting that Xaden has been calling her Violence quite often throughout both of these chapters. Because, like, when she gets upset, he's like, it's okay, Violence. Like, he openly calls her Violence multiple times, like, in front of other people now, which is very interesting. But, you know, that ends chapter 40 right there, which I think is so fun. And, like, next week we're gonna dive into 41 and 42 most likely, and
it might be 43. We'll see how the chapters kind of, we base it by what is going on in the chapters. And so this was very much, I do actually kind of like this set of chapters in the sense of it is Violet being defeated multiple times. She's defeated by
Yeah.
like her scribe knowledge. She's defeated by her wielding, and like it's just her kind of going like, Jesus Christ, like what is happening? Like her world
Yeah.
again is kind of like, she's like, oh, I thought I knew stuff, and now it's kind of like being shaken up a little bit again.
Exactly. I also think that it's good to see her be challenged, especially like as a main character. I think that it's great to challenge main characters because we all know that, you know, obviously they got plot armor. They got like fat fucking plot armor. You know, and a lot of it is the, oh, well, if they just don't know something, we'll do a training montage and then they'll magically know everything after that. And it was nice that we saw the training montage and then we saw her be like, yeah, I definitely know all this shit now because I had this training montage. And then for the training montage not to pan out the way that it normally pans out for her. I think,
and I also do like how the training montage isn't 4 chapters. It was 2, 3-ish, 4-ish pages of just like, nope, you're doing it wrong. Come on, like, I'm not going to teach you. Yeah. You need to imbue that, or I'm not teaching you. Like, you need to practice, and if I come, we'll meet next week, and if this is not, like, full of lightning in this conduit thingy, I'm not teaching you. Like, so it is really nice to see, because most of the time, training goes, you're learning, now I know everything. So it was, you're learning, but I'm not, like, it was a very different training montage than you're used to in a typical fantasy book.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I think that that's the part that makes this type of book so enjoyable, is because it is different than other fantasy novels, and it is different from like other writing styles, especially when it comes to fantasy, in terms of like how like, yeah, also, you know, that is like one thing that me and Ashley do really love about it, is that they are not immortal beings. They're not fae. They don't have any like strings attached with that. They are actually human, which makes it much more relatable, just in terms of like fantasy worlds.
Oh, for sure. And it's like you can have like a lot of connection to a fae and stuff like that, but there's always going to be that little underlying of like, you're not an immoral person because you're a human, and so you're gonna naturally be a little bit more connected to these characters at a baseline than you are a fae, because they have the same mortality that we do. So like if you die, you're not regenerating and stuff like that. And so
which I think is like,
I do like it. I like how this it just raises the stakes because we're human and we understand the stakes. Obviously we don't have dragons, sadly, but
damn,
but because of them being human, the stakes are like, everything around them can be different, and that's what it is. But because they're human, the stakes are automatically raised because they're in war.
Yeah, I also agree with that. I also think that, like, you know, there are some books that, you know, do like fae aspects extremely well. Shout out 5 Crowns of Oakrith. I will never stop talking about this series, like, offhandedly.
I think one of the best. We'll do an episode, don't worry.
I think I've said it like so many times. I think it is 5 Crowns of Oakrith is one of the best starter fantasies. Like, if you guys don't read fantasy, or if your friends don't read fantasy, start them off on that series. I think that it's great. I think that it's a wonderful introduction, and I think that it shows the differences in what it's like to have a fae and like main character.
Yeah.
Comparatively to what it would be like to have a human main character. And I think like both books do it well, because I'm not going to lie. There are some fantasy books that have human main characters that don't do it as well as this book.
Yeah.
And there are, you know, other series that have fae main characters that don't do it as well as 5 Crowns of Oakrith. Period. I'm gonna openly say it. I don't care.
I know what book series
I think everybody
about, and I'm laughing.
I think that some people have caught on to the series that I don't love. Like, I don't love them. I know that they're really popular, but I don't fucking love them. And I think 5 Crowns of Oakrith is better. I think I
know it sounds really weird, but I'm so excited to talk about a specific series because we are so controversial about it. And I think it's just going to be super funny to see everyone's reactions to it. And I'm excited to get that opinion out there, because it's not an opinion that you hear at all.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think I've ever heard someone say we don't like that series.
maybe on Reddit. Maybe on a deep hole in Reddit, there's somebody that agrees with us. But probably only
That's
one
true.
person. I'm going to be so honest about it.
Yeah, like
Probably
it's
only
really
one
is gonna...
person. But
And
you
so
know, it's
I'm
just like,
excited, but you have to wait for that
yeah,
because
gotta wait for that.
and that's not going to be our next series. We're going to do a new book.
No. Sorry, guys.
Immediately, a new book.
I gotta read something new. If we do rereads again, I might claw my eyes out.
Yeah.
I
We're
need to read
enjoying
something
ourselves,
new.
we
So
promise.
sorry. I love doing this. I love doing rereads. I love doing this series, but I need new material. And I think Ashley is on the same boat where we need new material, and it is fun talking about this, but love to...
We want to be able to give this book the love it deserves. And I feel like we are. But
Yeah,
I know that we love this series. It's a fun series. And
I love the series, so fun.
But a reread is a lot different than so we're going to do some new books not coming up after we finish, but
yeah,
we're going to do some new books. We have a lot in store for you guys, so
yeah,
keep an eye out for that.
Very, very exciting. But I mean, after that very long rant, we want to welcome you and say, hey, if you guys are not in for spoilers, we are ending our review section, and we are going to start for the spoilers. So if you're here just for the spoilers, welcome. If you're staying on, thank you so much for staying. If you're signing off, goodbye. Have a great day.
Goodbye.
Love ya. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe, do all the things, hit all the buttons. And now here we are in the spoilers. So, you know, we start off our spoilers always with, you know, our...
the beginning excerpts.
Beginning excerpts. I actually really did like the beginning excerpts. I really liked chapter 40's beginning excerpt, because that's the first time that we get to see a Tierish book be referenced
yes
as a beginning excerpt. So anyway, we're going to start with chapter 39.
I love chapter 40s, but we're starting with 39. The way you hyped it up, and we're not even starting with it, it's really funny.
No, but like, why would we start out of order?
Oh, I know that. I just thought it was really funny. Okay,
just wanted to mention it. Anyway,
chapter 39. The blood of the six. Sorry, I already messed up. The blood of... I'm so sorry. I need to read this in my head 1 second. That's a confusing, like, 5 words. The blood of life of the six and the one combined and set the stone ablaze in an iron rain. The Journal of Warwick of Lunar is translated by Violet, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, so that's the translation that Violet got out of Warwick's journal. Mm-hmm. And that's what, you know, spurred her into being like, hey, this is how you do the ward stone. You know,
yeah,
it's not until later that they realize that Lyra's and Warwick's journal may not line up. Mm-hmm. You know, like when they go to the stone, she's like, I understand, like, this is like what they were describing, but like the signs are off, the runes are off a little. This isn't the exact picture that he drew, so why would he not draw the exact picture if this isn't it? And I do think that each wardstone was made, but because they have 2, I think Lyra's journal unlocks this one, and Warwick's journal is for the wardstone in Basgiath. I think that's kind of like what it is. Like, yes, they do discuss the idea of that this is such sought after knowledge that they wanted to protect it. So they wrote 2 journals to like one is wrong. Yeah. Like to like throw people off, that like there's information in each one that is just wrong. And it's you can only find the truth if you have both journals, which we don't find out until much later. I feel like we might find out at the end of this book, but my memory's a little fuzzy on that. But it is so interesting because, like, I mean, Violet even notes it, that like things are different, but it does take them a bit to realize that what is going on. But it is interesting the way that it's worded.
Yes. And it was such a tongue twister for no reason.
Yeah, I think like she did it on purpose.
That might be a me thing mainly.
No,
But
I think that she did it that way so it sounds translated. And I know that that sounded really bad. But there are certain things that are written in a language that just sound better in that language. And then translated into English, you're like, that was weird. That was not as poetic as it was in that language. What happened?
Yes, it just sounds so much more off.
Yeah, it just sounds like a little off, and like I think like that's why she wrote it like that. But it's interesting that they say like the lifeblood. Specifically that because
it was the blood of life of the six.
The blood of life, and not even lifeblood. So like the blood of life of the six. And I think that's kind of interesting because honestly, I think it's their dragons. I think it's the dragons. I think what needs to happen, it's not the writers. I think it's the 6 dragons and a griffin. It's the
original Empyrean.
Yeah. Like I think it's the dragons that did it, and I think like that's what they're missing. You know?
Because I don't think humans are strong enough to do wards. Like that.
I don't
that
either,
big of a ward.
But like the fact that the dragons are also like, we don't know how this was made because it was made so long ago. Because like the first like 6 dragons, supposedly air quotes, air quotes, are not alive. And I put them in air quotes because is it proven?
No.
Because is it proven? Have I seen a dead body? Because if I don't see the body, then I don't think they're really dead.
I was saying that in Black Sails. I was like, I don't think they're dead.
I
didn't see a body.
If I didn't see a body, we didn't get the zoom shot in on the body, then they're not dead.
It's the immediate. I agree. And it's were we trained that way because of horror? Yeah. Immediately, yes.
Yes,
we watch
absolutely.
a lot of horror, and you're trained when you watch a lot of horror.
Yeah.
To like, you need to see the body because they're gonna come back, because that's a big trope in horror. I feel like it's a big trope in a lot of things, because it's the, oh my gosh, look, they're not dead. When then you have Kaylee and I over here, kill the character.
Yeah, kill him off. Do it.
Kill him.
It'll be good. It's
It'll be
I
so
want to
good.
cry. I want to get attached to characters and I want to cry, and so you should kill them now.
Me, I don't need to go on a Black Sails rant. It's okay.
Me. I was like, but you know, it's like one of those things where it's like even in the first book, like when we were like, you know, gearing up for like Liam's death, I openly was like, if she does not kill Liam in these next chapters, I'm gonna hate this book forever.
And she did it. And I really
she did it. And I was like,
I really think Rhee is gonna be the one to die in book 4.
I do.
And I think Xaden is gonna, because okay, I heard a theory. I don't think I agree, but I heard a theory.
Great, let's hear it.
I really don't agree. A theory that, like, Rhee, Riddick, Sawyer, Violet, Xaden, who am I missing? Rhiannon. Did I say Rhee? I don't know. Are like reincarnations of the gods.
Imogen.
Imogen
Bodhi.
Yeah. But like, they're reincarnations of the gods, and Xaden killing one of them, so let's say he kills Rhee, it's gonna start a war of the gods. And I don't agree. I don't like it.
I disagree with that because I feel like it's not a war of the gods. It's just that was like, you know, like that's Violet's deal breaker. Like Riddick made her say what the end was. Because I also agree with Riddick. There should be a fucking end. If we're all going to be lunatics together, then I only sign on board to be a lunatic with you if I know that there's an end of this. Like, we have to have an end goal. And it
was such a big thing. There's no way it's not going to happen. Like, it was such a big thing. There's no way that it's not. Something is not going to happen. Like, if it's just said and nothing happens, then I'd be shocked.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to lie about it. Half of me is like, I mean, we can infer that Mira and Brennan both die. And I think,
Like in book 1, if you haven't listened along and you're kind of just tuning in, there is a beginning excerpt in the first book that says there's a fight between the 3 siblings, and only one of them survives.
And only one of them survives.
Be Violet, but I do think Violet's gonna die because she's gonna kill Zayden. It'll be holding. It's okay.
Oh, yeah, no, I think that during that battle something happens, and I think that Zayden kills Wood. Sorry, I think that was one of my dogs. One
of them. Do you have multiple in there?
Yeah.
Oh.
Right now I do.
Who?
I'm dog sitting, so Beretta's not other Beretta, other person's Beretta, different Beretta, small Beretta.
Little Beretta.
She's very cute. Yeah, there's a little Beretta. She's very cute.
How cute.
Yeah, she very cute. She very cute. Anyway,
continue.
Anyway, continuing.
Sorry, dog. Immediately, dog.
Yeah, sorry. Dog? What? Dog? Oh my god, dog?
Oh my god.
Look, dog. Oh my god, kitty. Yeah, all the time.
I'm shocked the cat hasn't come into your shot while we're filming.
I think she's outside right now.
Oh, okay.
She threw up on the chair. That's why my blanket is different. She threw up on the chair last night. She didn't throw up. She just had a really bad hairball. It happens. You know.
Yeah.
I mean.
Anyway, so your thoughts.
Cats. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Sorry, we have animals and we love them, and we'll talk about them for like an hour.
Yeah. I think that either Brennan is going to, that Zayden is going to kill one of her friends, or he joins that battle and kills Mira. Because I think that, I know this is going to sound bad, but I don't think that, I know that Violet would mind if, like, he killed Brennan, but I think, like, for Violet, it's going to be Mira or Rhiannon that snaps her.
Yeah.
And or both. That just she's gonna break. And that's okay. Like, that's so valid. I know that she loves
Brennan. Like, I know that she loves Brennan. It's her brother. But
but like,
they just don't have that connection.
Yeah.
That she does with Mira and Rhiannon. And
absolutely.
I know I've said it. I really think something is off with Brennan.
Yeah, I mean, that's you know, we do, you know, have the theory that he is a Venom and that he, but like, it's one of those things where it's like, is he? His eyes aren't red rimmed. There's not
but also think that
yes, he is sealed, and so it's okay. Well, if he is sealed, then why is Zayden not? Why did Brennan fail to seal Zayden if Brennan was able to be sealed?
What if you think,
like, if this magic exists,
the venom out of him to a point they had to put a ruin on him to contain it, and then Zayden turning made Brennan turn again. Like what if Brennan's the brother?
I'm sorry, what?
Remember at the end of Onyx Storm, the brother?
Oh, yes. That
is the brother.
No, I mean, I think it's very, very a huge possibility because, you know,
because I don't think,
because also, like, not only that is, like, the reason why I do think that it is a huge possibility that it is Brennan, and just specifically Brennan is because he said that you watched me so closely struggle with this, and you helped me try not to struggle with it. Like, the fact that he was like, you helped me so much, you tried to do this, and then you did this yourself.
I think it's Brennan.
Yeah, and it's like I'm not surprised that Brennan would be the first one out of the siblings to turn. I really hope next book we kind of get, like, more of, like, a highlight of Mira, because we got so much of this conflicting picture of Mira, especially when in Onyx Storm, like, when she's, like, at the old lady's house, and, like, the old lady is like, why are you doing this? Why are you here? Like, what's your purpose? Mm-hmm. And so I really hope that we get to go see Mira be, like, do her training montage,
Mira,
or, you know,
be cool, and we love her.
Go do something fun. Hopefully not die.
God, when they slit her throat, wild.
Oh my God.
The audible. Oh my God.
Yeah, I think I I think
audibly gasped.
stopped and I was
Yeah.
like, what part of the book are you at? I mean, where are you?
Where are you? Because this just happened. I know. I remember I was driving back from the barn. I remember this vividly. Back from the barn. And that happened. I audibly went, oh my God. And I paused it. And I was like, okay, Ashley, we need to breathe. Because it was so abrupt. Like, it was like, oh, like, you want to do that? I don't care. And I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, because, like, I mean, normally we are, like, we're conditioned to be like, oh, they're going to threaten, like, 2-3 times, but they're really not going to do it. You know, like, that's, like, the way that, like, we're conditioned for it to happen. But then again, I'm like, maybe she wouldn't do it because she already, like, maybe it won't be Mira because she already, like, because she already, like, gave that shock factor for Violet, you know, of, like, what it could be, like, potentially losing her. So maybe it's not, you know.
Maybe it is.
But
like, that was foreshadowing that, look at, Venom is going to kill somebody and that's going to be Zayden.
Yeah. It's also, like, one of those things where, like, I do think that, like, you know, I do think they might save Riddick for the end. But I do think that Riddick and Rhiannon are going to die, and hopefully Sawyer lives so that he can live happily ever after with Yesenia, and they get to name all of their kids after his friends. It's okay.
And I think that's what's going to happen, and that's Yesenia telling the story.
I mean, yeah, because Yesenia
or it's Sawyer telling the story. They're telling the story together.
Yeah, but, like, I mean, Yesenia is the one that, like,
translated
is, like, the main curator of all of these books. It's all done by Yesenia. So it's like, we know that Yesenia at the very end at least survives.
And we're hoping with Sawyer, because they are, the way Sawyer's like, can I learn sign language to talk
my God.
Oh my God. I can't wait to get there.
That is so cute. Please.
But we do have to talk about the the beginning excerpt for chapter 40.
Yes, beginning excerpt of chapter 40. Yes. Mm-hmm.
This is why people listen to our podcast. Hopefully. His first true action of the rebellion was to seek allies, the first of which was Viscount Takaris of the Poromish province of Crovila, the Tyrus rebellion forbidden history of Colonel Felix.
Poromils.
Poromil, but it's Poromish.
Poromish.
Thank you. Poromish province of Crovila.
Of Krovla.
Thank you, Caitlin.
There's. Yeah.
I can't. It's okay.
No, I mean, you're fine. I would not know how to pronounce this fucking shit if it wasn't for the name.
Oh, same. Oh my God. I can't even imagine if we actually read these books, everyone would be like, you're pronouncing that wrong. I mean,
yeah, I was like, I know, bitch. Go away. Send me a voice note on how to say it, and then maybe I'll say it correctly.
Literally. Which I do think that is interesting. Like, their first action was to seek allies, which I mean is a very smart thing to do. Don't do things without allies, please. Mm-hmm. But I do like you said, like, it is the first thing translated from a Tyrus, and it does say the forbidden history, so it's written down somewhere. And it's in where Tyrannor.
Yes.
In Aracia.
Which I'm like, I just think that it's the reason why I think that it's so interesting is, number one, it is the first excerpt from, like, Tyrannor, from, like, that side and that perspective. But once again, this is the first ally that they previously saw after was still Viscount Takaris. And the fact that he's still here and he still is the number one sought after ally is really interesting, and just goes to show how much power he really does have, and how much power that he holds through decades of time. And like, obviously it's not the same Viscount Takaris, because obviously they're all like juniors and blah blah blah, and like there's a lineage line, but like it's still really interesting to see that this family has stayed in power for that long, which obviously isn't like technically abnormal for like that type of like this type of like world dynamic of like
Yeah.
kings and queens and yada yada yada, like viscounts and dukes and whatever else they are.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But it is still really interesting to hear that, like, still, you know, in the time that like Violet and Xaden are, is that this person is still like the head honcho. Like this guy is still like so sought after to the point where even like Xaden's ancestors like did that, you know?
Yeah. Like it is.
Yeah.
They're very powerful families, and we don't really get to see that dynamic until later. And I know we start really seeing it later in this book, but specifically in Onyx Storm when they're going to all of the different isles and stuff like that. It's no, like, we have a voice and we need to say it. And it is.
Yeah.
I do agree where Onyx Storm is where Violet is at her most powerful, but also her weakest. Because, like, when it's just Violet, no, like, take Xaden out of the question, she's at her strongest.
For sure.
But Xaden is making her so anxious and so, because it's so toxic. She even says, I don't care if it's toxic. Like, ma'am, that's not.
Yeah, no, Violet openly says, like, I don't care how toxic this is. And, like, but, like, they say it multiple times, like throughout all three books. Ashley knows how I feel about the production of Onyx Storm. But I think that it is very interesting with Onyx Storm how you actually see that, you know, Erasia had a lot of allies outside of Navarre. Like, outside of Navarre, they made a lot more allies in comparison because, you know, Navarre is just like... I thought it was, like, really interesting when they landed in, you know, like, at Viscount Takaris' like estate. The dude spoke the common tongue, and Brennan was like,
"Oh, you speak Navarre."
Yeah,
like,
you speak Navarrian, and the dude's clapback was like, "Yeah, I do, because I live in a country where we don't think that we're the only language that has ever existed." And I was like, damn. I feel that to my core.
Literally down to my core. Yeah, because this isn't a political piece at all. And I'm sorry. I love my friends. And it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. But it definitely is a political piece. For sure. Like, there's so many aspects that it's just like, wow. Like, you could tell she is... If you literally taking out all the fantasy stuff, it is literally just, hey, are we not paying attention to what's happening right now in our world? Hello?
Yeah, I think that, like, there's a lot to be said. But, like, not only that is, I'm going to be honest, most writing is political.
100%. Like, and it's something that, because it's so prevalent in our society and so prevalent in, like, how the world functions, it's going to bleed into books, because if there's not going to be conflict if it's not political. Absolutely. Because we don't know how to make conflict without politics.
Absolutely. But also, like, if you think about it, like, it doesn't matter. Even art pieces that, like, are not, like, visual art pieces, like paintings and things like that, they reflect the times. And a lot of times, you know, politics, the way that the world is functioning, the way that the world is interacting with each other, all play huge parts in that. And I do think that it's you know, in the side of, like, books, like, and, like, it being political, a lot of people, you know, I understand, like, a lot of people get upset about, you know, books having so much politics, and they're like, oh, politics shouldn't be in books. But to those people I say, you're wrong. You're wrong, and if you want to go read slop, then you can go read slop, but get the fuck out of here, because the reason why books are so good is because they reflect the world around us. And if they're not reflecting what the people stand for, and, like, who we are as individuals, and, like, what type of world we want to live in, then you shouldn't Like, no, get the fuck out of here. That's all I gotta say. Like,
And it's
just
also like a lot of
immediately get the
people.
fuck out of here. Like, it's also like, obviously media literacy is definitely missing. Like, I also understand me saying media literacy is like such a big buzzword right now because like I feel like a lot of people are like talking about that, but it's just one of those things where it's like if you look back at it, regardless of what book you read, it's political. I know Ashley's really hungry and things like that, but it's okay. Because like
I started laughing because the thing started going when my stomach growled. I was like, oh, okay.
it's okay.
You heard that?
I did.
I'm really hungry, guys. My stomach is growling. But and it's also what I was gonna say was a lot of people, if not everybody, at some point uses media to escape from reality. That's because it helps you cope with it, and it wouldn't be as much of an escape if it didn't compare to the real world because it's showing you like, hey, look, this is what could, like it's a way to escape, and if you can't put yourself into it, it's not a way to escape. And a way to put yourself into it is to have politics that are similar, not exact, but obviously, but similar. And it's like, oh wow, like this makes me feel in more of control than you actually are in when you're in the real world. But you're not. People use literary, or sorry, media to escape. And if it's not, and as much as people are like, oh, I don't want politics in the book, if there's no politics in the book, you don't feel like you have control over the politics in your life. Does that make sense? Like you read books to get away from the politics in, and like your just life in general.
Yeah,
And you're
I
reading the
do
book, but if
think.
you don't have politics in the book, you don't feel, because like in the book you're reading it, you have control to shut the book. You have control to turn it off if you are not in
Mhm.
the mood to read that type of stuff. And also it's very different, in quotes, different politics, and so it feels different, so you feel more in control over the politics in your hand versus the one in real life.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from.
I don't know if I worded that 100% how I mean it to be.
Yeah, I don't either.
Let me retry that next week.
Yeah, we'll try that again later.
But you see
um,
what I mean? Like,
no,
you
I
use it as an
definitely.
escape, and if there's
Mhm.
no politics in a book, it doesn't feel as much
Well,
as an escape because you get
mhm.
to read about a different person succeeding in politics.
Yeah, I mean that's really interesting that you say that because like that's the main reason why people feel like they don't like it is because there's not enough escapism.
Yeah. I think it
Um,
depends on the world and what book you're reading too.
yeah, I definitely do think that it all depends. It's like, depending on what book you're reading is depending on how much it is. But also like, I think right now at like in this day and age in the country that we live in, unfortunately, like politics is like so much on the forefront of our mind because of like what's going on right now in
100%.
in our own country and where we're at and in our reality currently right now. Um, so I think that's why we are so much more like, no, it should be in books and it should be in literature because
Mhm.
not gonna lie, like that's how people learn. Like there was no
It,
reason to write history if we're not gonna actually read it and like know what's happening in the world around us. And I just think that it's hard because, obviously books should be an escapism. Like that's the reason like why we have fantasy. Like the fantasy genre was to, you know, have fun and to do like,
yeah.
crazy shit and deal with magic and all this stuff. But also it's it
It's an
is
easier way to
just
digest the politics.
yes, but also like
That's what I meant.
if we think about it this way is that all literary works are, as we've stated, a product of their time and it
Mhm.
reflects, the time in the world around us. I also think that within fantasy, because us as humans will always be obsessed with the idea of personification,
Yeah.
that it is going to be deeply inlaid because we are human beings. It's just nature type of,
Mhm.
thing. taking over in terms of that. And people love personification, and I don't think that they're ever going to stop that.
I agree. But diving back into the book, one thing that I did want to talk about was we already talked about the wards, but Zayden really not wanting her to go because he does, think that Viscount Dakaris is going to keep her as a trophy, but he also really wants her to avoid Kat because he doesn't
Yeah.
want her he doesn't want her to learn that they were engaged, that they were said to be married, that they dated, or any of that. And so I really
Hmm.
think a big part of him going absolutely not is because he really doesn't want her to see Kat.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they have briefly met.
They have.
Um, but I also think like Zayden knows Kat's behavior.
Yeah.
Zayden, because like, they did spend a, a, a chunk of time together, to the point where like it is that like they did like quote unquote date for a bit. Like
Yeah.
they had sex. Like
Oh,
it's
I mean,
like,
it's like they had to, and it's even like when she's like, "Oh, like thanks for the finger trick," like that was Cat, like you know what I mean, like
yeah, it's like there are certain things that like they did have a real relationship. I also think that it's one of those it's hard because you're not going to be able to avoid it because number one, that is your ex, but also like you're asking their family to be part of your revolution and to be an ally. So
it's
you're
gonna
gonna have
happen,
to get
sir.
over it, Zayden. Like you're gonna
Yeah,
have to get over the fact that like that's your ex and it ended badly.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
like we can't say that it ended fucking badly. Like she took it very personally and it's very much like not okay with her. And that's just something that he's gonna have to like deal with. Like it's also one of those things where it's really interesting me. It's really interesting within monogamy how much jealousy there is because people just don't want to communicate. And the reason why I say it's interesting that it comes up in monogamy is because in my experience, I'm not saying that it's like everybody because I know that there are some people that are like poly or have open relationships that are like not great at communication, but like all of the ones that I've been in, I'm just like, yeah, like we're just very communicative and like
mm,
ru- me running into your ex at a party, like even in LA is somewhat normal. You're gonna have to interact with those people and be okay and be able to like communicate that with your new partner about like the situation.
yeah.
And I think that this comes down to the fact that Zayden is not fantastic at communicating. We've seen it time and time again where he
And
just
he does say he's like, "I need to work
refuse.
on it," and like, yeah,
Yeah,
and how
for
he
sure.
makes her ask questions, like,
Yeah.
"No, I'm not gonna tell you unless you ask me." I'm like, "Sir, that's not how communication always works." Like, yes, sometimes, but not
Hmm.
all the time.
Yeah, like I agree. Like there is a point of communication where you're like, oh, like really want my partner just to ask me certain questions. Like I want them to like want to know about me. I want them to be genuinely curious about us and our relationship, but also at the same time, it is the hey, we might be going into this awkward situation, so let me give you all of the details before we go in so
Mhm.
you don't have this major whiplash in front of people and then now have to school your facial expressions to see what the fuck is going on because we
Yep.
can't talk right now.
Yeah.
I mean, they can talk right now because like they have
The
like their
mind thing.
mental. Yeah.
Like the mental talk communication thing.
Yeah, they they do have like their mental like connection and like they can like talk, but like out in the real world you don't get that. So it's just like the I just feel like once again this is where Zayden's lack of communication could have made things a lot better if it was mentioned before or earlier or even like fucking discussed.
Yeah.
So,
Like at all. Like
mhm.
he said like, "Oh yeah, she's my ex," but that's literally it. He's like, "I don't want to talk about it."
Yeah.
Like he really no.
Yeah,
And
just
it's like,
doesn't want to
"Sir,
talk about it. And it's
it's
like the
okay."
hey, I get it, like you like Violet is your world and like she's the only one like that you want and like things like that, but at the same time, if your new partner and your ex have to interact, you need to tell them. Like
Yes.
you need to tell them about them. You need like I'm so sorry, but like maybe it's just because like I am myself and I am an anxious person and I am an overthinker, I have to be like, no, you should tell me about that and like tell me how it ended and why it ended. Not because I'm
Mhm.
like, oh, I want to like, oh, I want to know
They're
like
gonna get
what
back
she,
together,
yeah,
and
yeah,
oh
like,
my
oh, are they
god.
going to get back together?
No,
No,
it's
it's not
just
because
I
I'm
wanna be prepared
insecure.
for a
Yeah,
situation.
I just literally want to know, like, if, like, for instance, I think it would have been so nice for Violet to know that she was so hurt about it so that she could understand why Kat's just such a fucking bitch to her. Like,
Yeah, and
literally.
it also, like, gives the other partner, like, let's say again, like, it gives
Mhm.
Violet time to process her feelings of jealousy that are gonna like, it's gonna pop up a little
Yeah.
bit. It's like, "Oh, like, you were
And
with my
jealousy is
person
very
because"
natural. It's like a
Yeah,
very natural thing. And
and
also,
it
like,
doesn't have to be a bad thing, but
mhm.
it would have given her time to process those emotions and get them under control before she sees Cat, who can amplify those emotions.
Absolutely. And like not only that is like here's the thing is like communication is not the end all be all and it's not going to stop you from feeling those feelings of
No.
jealousy. You know, feeling jealous is actually very normal in any type of relationship and it's just like how you handle it, how your other
Mhm.
partner like you know, you guys get to talk about that and stuff. It's not necessarily like it's not bad to be jealous,
No.
but it is a feeling that you should talk to your partner about and you know get to the root of it and be like, well, why am I feeling jealous? Oh, maybe it's because I'm unclear of certain circumstances, or
Yep.
maybe I'm jealous because I'm feeling a little bit more insecure, maybe this, maybe that. But the fact that you can troubleshoot that with your partner beforehand would be so much more beneficial than, you know, Zayden's ploy of, oh, well, we just like don't talk about shit. So, like, you know, if you don't ask me a
And this
point blank question, you know,
And this goes back to our circling of they are toxic because they don't have communication.
yeah,
And like you said,
absolutely.
communication is not the end all be all, but it is a very crucial part of a relationship. And the fact that he's just kind of like, oh, you need to ask me questions or I'm not going to tell you anything isn't how that works.
Yeah,
So,
it just really isn't. And
and it is funny to see him just so anxious about her going. Again, I do think a good chunk of it is because he knows that he'll take her as a
mhm,
trophy, but a chunk is definitely he doesn't want her to see Cat because he doesn't want to have to deal with the emotions and the fallout of what's about to happen if they see each other. He isn't
mhm.
ready for that. And like I think Violet would have been fine. He was
Yeah.
not ready for that
I also think, like, you know, I also think he would have been ready for that if he
if
would
they
have
talked
talked
about
to
it.
Violet.
Exactly.
Like, if they would have talked about it, then everybody would have been prepared. Not only Violet, but he also would have been more prepared and more secure in his partner to be like, hey, she's got this. We got this. And everything's going to be okay.
Yeah.
But, and then, you know, I'm sure that he, like, you know, you could say, we're playing devil's advocate and being like, well, they didn't have time to talk because she made this rash decision on her own. Also, once again, super valid points because Violet just kind of does whatever sometimes and like literally does not think about the world around her. But
But it
also,
should have been a
Zayden does the
communicated
same thing.
later or earlier too, like, when they
Yeah.
saw Cat for the
Well,
first
like
time,
when Kat,
easy
yeah, when,
conversation.
mhm. Yeah, like when Kat first came up, like it would have been an easy conversation to have right
Yeah,
then and there. Like, yeah, it's awkward, but here's the thing is like a relationship is hard and having hard conversations and uncomfortable conversations is necessary to have a relationship. It's
I
just
agree.
that is what it is.
That's how
Like
it
even
is.
a friendship, you have to do that. You have to have awkward, uncomfortable conversations and know
Mhm.
that and like actually have faith and trust that that person has the best intentions for you, you
Yeah,
know?
and that's what I
So,
mean, like and it's definitely hard to like, especially if you've been, like, hurt in the past. I mean, everybody's been hurt in the past
for
somehow,
sure.
like, it's hard to be like, "Oh, like, what if they don't?" But then it's
Mhm.
like, no, like, I'm gonna use Kaylee as an example because she is my best friend and right there, like, no, like, we're having a hard moment, but Kaylee has my best intention. She's not about to throw me under the, like, bridge and, like, run me over with a car, like, like,
Unless it's
emotionally speaking.
necessary. I was like, unless it's necessary, I wouldn't do it. But if it's necessary for your good and your well-being, I would do it.
It's necessary for the plot.
Yeah, if it furthers the plot, I'll definitely do it.
Exactly. But I just thought it was an interesting point, and then also her just trying to control like, seeing
Oh
her
yeah.
really frustrated and, like, trying to control her pew pews.
Emotions.
No.
Yeah, and her like lightning and
There we
everything.
go.
Yeah. But I also think, like, man, she got the conduit at like such a great time, because this
Yeah.
is the time to do it, because literally, like I said earlier, like any change of mood, it's just immediate lightning, and it's just like
Mhm.
immediate destruction. You're like, whoa,
We need to
let's
breathe.
breathe a little.
She needs to go to therapy is what she needs to do.
I mean, both of them need to go to therapy, but
Everybody in this book needs to go to therapy.
yeah.
And also, like, seeing we're not gonna see them quite. I think they get more into it in the next couple chapters, but seeing the griffins, and we're gonna start
Hmm.
learning about their signets and stuff like that. I'm
Yeah.
really excited to, because I feel like there's gonna be a lot of little details that I didn't pick up on the first time, and so I'm kind of
Yes.
excited to see the, like, oh, like, the lesser magic, because we don't really know about lesser magic. We know a little bit, but we're really gonna start getting into it with the griffins, and so I'm excited to see that as well.
Yeah. Excited to see, how they play in like that new part. But honestly, we didn't really have a whole lot for our spoiler section.
We
Did we
did it,
touch
and
on
yet we spoke
everything?
so much.
Yeah, I was like, uh, uh, it was such a short spoiler section, but I think, is
That
there
was it?
anything else? Yeah,
No, I
that's
think that
it.
was it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
crazy. Good for
I
us.
know.
I
I
know that
know.
there's a lot of long rants, but thank you guys for coming to our TED
Yeah.
Talk. And
We
not
had a
only
lot
that,
today, and it was
yeah,
at every point, we had a lot of talks, but I mean, that's what makes us us,
yeah.
and we rant and talk and laugh, and that's what we do.
But thank you guys so much for joining us. We really
Yeah.
appreciate it. We
Please
love
hit
the
all the
views.
buttons,
Yeah.
the likes, comments, likes, comments, downloads, all of the things.
Yeah.
And last
Don't
question we have
forget
to
to
say to you,
subscribe.
do that too.
Yeah.
And the last thing we have to say to you is
What did the void say to you?